I have a program for ICE that involves prosecuting them for racial profiling, prosecuting them for violence against Californians.
What would you tell your own kids if they ever faced a boss like that? You have 60 seconds.
I apologized that day to that staffer 4 years ago, and I took responsibility then, and I have taken responsibility since.
Mr. Becerra, we haven't seen you issue a letter grade on Governor Newsom's overall performance. What grade does he get on homelessness, and what, if anything, would you do differently?
On effort, I would give him an A. Here's what I would do that's different, though. I would focus on accountability.
In a state of 40 million people and big problems, we highlighted a number of them during our trip to California, last night's gubernatorial debate made one thing clear. The bench, the options for California governor, leaves little hope. The winners of the night were the moderators who asked tough, fair, substantive questions and pointed out when candidates refused to answer. It was refreshing to watch a debate like that. The losers were the people of California, who have to pick from these 6 candidates. The biggest state in America and 4th largest economy in the world is going to be run by one of them. With us now, Sage Steele, host of the Sage Steele podcast on Bill Maher's podcast, and on set with us. So good to see you.
In person.
There we go.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Makes you happy you don't live in California, right?
I literally left California about 6 hours ago. And yes, to answer your question, however, it does make me so sad because to me it is the most beautiful state in the union by far, the most diverse, etc. But they have ruined it. And I had not just one, several Californians come up to me at the restaurant last night and say, just so you know, we're not all crazy. We're not all like them. We want to save our state.
You know, I think there is a lot of people who feel like that. I left California about 20 hours ago. Forgive my jet lag to all who are watching. The bags in my eyes are real. That's my fault, not Jessica, our makeup artist. The larger question, though, is why are we not seeing anybody better show up and be willing to run?
Because they're smart. And they know that it is a disaster, and you're almost setting yourself up to fail in the state of California, is my feeling. At the end of the day, somebody has to run it, though, and we know that the current leader has done nothing but set the state further back. What I'm hoping and praying for, this is somebody that has no interest in being in California, living in California, but just because there's so much to offer in that state.
Yeah, we should want it to succeed.
Yes, I hope and pray that the people of California can stop and look at the facts, the policies, look at the numbers, look around themselves in the neighborhood, and realize that the last 15 years, when you've been led by Democrats, what has happened? Every single wrong number has gone up, whether it's crime, whether it's homelessness,
right. And yet, the Democratic machine seems to still have a real grab there.
Yes.
Matt Mahan is the mayor of San Jose. He's probably the most Newsom skeptical of the Democrats. We talked to him after the debate. Democrats have run California for 14 years with supermajorities. You keep talking about affordability, yet California is the least affordable state in the country. What specifically has to change?
Well, first of all, I'm the only candidate in this race who has said that on day one I will suspend the gas tax and reform it so it doesn't disproportionately force working families to pay to maintain our roads. But the answer isn't to elect Donald Trump's hand-picked candidate or a Fox News commentator.
Okay, so I hit on Steve Hilton, fine. But beside the point, the best he had was repeal the gas tax?
Exactly. If that's the #1 thing that he's going to do the day he gets into office, every single person that I have talked to in California, and I just did this informal poll leading up to my conversation with Steve Hilton, who was on my show, the Sage Steele Show. It's coming out next week. And I just wanted to know from my friends, what upsets you the most? And these are people from very different demographics and backgrounds and socioeconomic statuses. And they all said the same thing. It is the crime. These beautiful communities are no longer safe. And these are $2-3 million homes, you know, and then up from there where people are camped out.
That's part of the problem is $2 or $3 million homes is a starter home.
It's starter home in California.
And I think it's great that you have Steve Hilton on next week. We talked to him a little bit after the debate as well. Take a listen. It's a tough line to walk for you, right? Of being endorsed by somebody who's so important to so many Republicans, but is toxic to so many independents that you need.
Yeah, but remember that the president got more votes in California than any other state. That actually, given the turnout levels in a general election, in a presidential election in a midterm year, actually, if you look at the numbers, if everybody who voted for President Trump in 2024 votes for me in 2026, I'll be elected with hundreds of thousands of votes to spare.
Spoken like a former campaign operative.
True.
And if worms had machine guns, birds would be very afraid of them, if and ands. But this would be the question, though, from your friends in California. Why aren't they willing to support? Why aren't Democrats and independents willing to support anybody with an R next to their name?
It's a habit. It's laziness, and it is a habit. And I think it's also in conversation where people, it's all around the country, people had to kind of come out of the closet, pardon me for using that phrase, to say, yes, I'm voting for Donald Trump, or you do it with your nose plugged. Here's my advice. Don't tell anybody who you're voting for. Go to the poll, vote once, not 6 times, guys. Do it the right way, and just take care of what you believe is the best, vote the way that you believe is the best way to help your state and your family. And it does begin and end with crime, because even if the cost of living comes down, if you're stepping over drug addicts and your kids can't safely go to school, then none of that matters.
What else matters? No, it's a great point.
It's actually simple, but I think it's a habit. These people have only known one way to do it for so long. You got to get uncomfortable. Most of the country did in 2024. Look what happened.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. We had the top concerns for California drivers for cost of living 40%. We have a graphic. The cost of California compared to the U.S. average, it is stunning. This is in addition to how much everything has gone up in the United States. The person we talked to about crime was Chad Bianco. He is the sheriff who's running. Doesn't seem to have that great of a chance, although up until recently was #2 in the polls. Take a listen. What Democrat or independent is going to vote for you?
The ones that want safety, the ones that want common sense in government, the ones that want government actually working to make their lives better instead of special interests better or bigger. Government is out of control. The spending is out of control. They're going to vote for me because they want cheaper gas, $2 gas. They want cheaper houses. They want no state income tax, and they want to be safe when they send their kids to school or they go to the grocery store at night.
Okay, no state income tax isn't going to happen. But the safety thing isn't resonating.
What do you mean? With voters? Well, I'm wondering which polls they are using then, because that is what every single person says. Steve Hilton talks about it a lot. And wouldn't it be ironic if an immigrant from the UK ends up being the best candidate, the person that's voted into office in California? All we know right now is that the bar is so low with Gavin Newsom. But hey, please, have your wife keep talking, by the way. It breaks my heart, but I do think all those Californians who say my vote doesn't matter, I think it does. And if you don't do it this time, to me, it's not going to be a good result, a good future for California.
Well, if you don't vote, you can't complain. Nobody's complaining in Indiana, though. The Hoosiers quarterback, #1 in the draft.
No, I might have cried.
Really?
I might have cried.
Yeah, I've got a boss who's crying tears of joy as well. It's good to see you, Sage.
Good to see you, Leland. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.